This is a Salem by Night, Changeling the Lost Scene. This scene is rated 18 and up. We will begin with three of our new changelings. Uh, I'll introduce you last, Florence, because I know where I'm going to put you. I don't know how these two are connected, so we're going to do Jake and Josh first.
All right. So, middling height, kind of scrawny build. Uh, has kind of a weird, kind of smoldering gray eye quality. Um, a bit pale, a bit gaunt, kind of wan. But his hair has this kind of blue flamish sort of quality going down his back. Like it's tendrils of blue flame like a pilot light. Uh, and he just sort of walks into the building a little bedraggled and kind of confused. Well, definitely an interesting evening. And he just sort of looks behind him over at Jake's character. Uh, is this place any specific significance?
Yeah, I don't know where we are because like the scene has not particularly been set all the way.
Yeah, I was trying to decide where we were going to do it. We're going to say you're at a playground between the elementary school and Autumn Court's housing.
All right.
There's like a dude in a like some black Dickies pants and like a dark blue Dickies shirt. He's got bruises and nicks on his hands that are almost how do you say this? They're almost like symmetrical, kind of. They form like a pattern out of like almost octagon or hexagon shaped bruises on his hands, and he's um he's smoking a cigarette, and he's got like ratty gray Converse on, and like a tool belt hanging off his waist. Um, he's just sitting on like a bench near the swings, looking up at Josh, or Darren West, I mean. Um, he's got like oil stains on the sleeves of his shirt and on like the front of his shirt, and maybe even like a little streak of dirt across his forehead from when he wiped his head last. um, he's like rather skinny and I guess about average height. Pretty nondescript looking. Uh, he just kind of shrugs his shoulders and looks around.
And I'm just sort of looking off at like the kids in this deserted playground, like a bit disconcerted with this kind of creepy vibe.
It is a very creepy playground, even though you see children here playing. Like everything's old and rusted colored. Like the clubhouse area has cobwebs across it. It looks like nobody's played here recently, but you see kids running around and playing. And at this point, you'll also see a car. It's not like a super nice car, but it's nicer for this area of town. Pull up, and a red-haired girl and a young boy get out and start walking around the park.
Do we recognize them?
You wouldn't personally know them, but since you're both changelings, you can tell they're also changelings. You can see through their human forms to their true selves, which this girl looks odd, to say the least. You can tell she's another wizened, but
Oh, all
you're
right,
not
yes.
sure.
I mean, if Josh could see through my glamour or whatever, he's like pretty wiry. He's got like a beak-like nose. His skin's kind of like brownish color, and he's bald on top, and then has like really wiry gray hair sticking out in like all directions, wreathing his head. Um, and he's wearing like the same kind of clothes, except they're like more tattered and ratty. And
So a kind of a classic depiction of like a brownie or a strigan or something, like kind of like a gaunt, kind of wiry little thing that looks like it's made out of like branches of sinew and stuff, kind of like fingers a little.
yeah, he's like real spidery and like skinny and stuff. And he's got like everywhere, every time he like shifts on the bench, you can see he's leaving like little streaks of ash behind.
Hmm. All right. Well, since he can kind of see through, basically what you see, Jake, is a humanoid shape, but it's basically a man dressed in what looks to be gray flames. His eyes kind of have this like bright, luminous quality, and his entire body is like Doctor Manhattan with blue flame, just like all over him. Just has a bit of a aquiline kind of sculptured face, kind of good looking, but not in the like absurdly striking kind of way. But you notice him in a crowd. He's kind of like got a bit of presence to him, but not very much. Like,
Yeah. You'll notice the girl looks pretty much like your standard Wizened you would expect. She's tall, rather lanky. It's till you look at the tip of her head, she's got a small set of horns, and then she's got a typical demon's tail, as people like to describe it, on her back, and she's wearing a maid's dress in her
so
fake form. And
got
she's carrying multiple dolls and like puppet string and stuff around. And I'm sure Florence wants to describe what his character looks like himself.
Yes. The boy is pale and rather scrawny. Has like this dark, semi-long hair. But the one thing you'll for sure notice is the large button covering his left eye, and the patches going down his face in all different sorts of varieties and colors and shapes and sizes, and also down his left arm, or his right arm, I'm sorry. And all the way up to his fingers, just all in patches.
So upon observing these two, I'm just gonna step back a little bit disconcerted. I'm not exactly certain on how to deal with them, but I'm just kind of gonna tense up a little bit, kind of get a more guarded stance, and kind of just sort of straighten myself, try to look a little bit more intimidating.
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
pretty good. Hang on. Um,
While we wait on him, Jake, you can do whatever you want to do.
I mean, I'll just observe, and actually, I'll take out my phone and I'll like hold it up and snap a picture of these two.
The girl has kind of looked over at you. She smiles as you take a picture. You'll notice some of the kids, though, act like they know him, and some of the kids also give off the same light as Arcadia. They don't seem like they're changelings, but they don't seem true Fae either.
Huh. I'll give her like a little wave or whatever, and then continue smoking my cigarette.
So, Andy,
Yes.
what new products should we put in the store for the children?
It's springtime, so something with a lot of colors.
Should I get you some spun silk from the hedge?
Yes. That'd be nice.
Oh, poor Andy. I don't let you out enough, and she'll pet his head.
He kind of directs his face towards her and like, did he take a picture of us?
Yes, he did. Don't worry, you can tell. He's not human. He's like us.
Yeah. But what do we know him?
Do we know him? I don't think we know him. Should we go introduce ourselves?
He nods.
She'll go over to Jake's character and she'll be like, "Hi, I'm Sasha."
Oh, hi.
Hi.
He'll put out a cigarette. Oh, hello there. And nod at Andy. They call me Ratchet.
So that's your other name. Most people around town call me the doll collector, and that's Raggedy.
You don't look that ragged. Oh, by the way, do they look like humans or changelings on my phone?
On your phone, they would look human, which you would see a girl that looks about 16 with red hair, and a boy that would look black hair, kind of average, real shy looking, maybe early 20s, right, Florence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hold up my phone and be like, we don't come up on these things. That's interesting, right?
Yeah, those things aren't good at getting past our glamour.
Oh, I'm glad about it. A little experiment. I'll delete the picture if you want. I apologize. I wanted to test it out.
She looks over at Andy and she goes, "Can the nice man keep your picture?"
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. He'll just put his phone away into
So-
his pocket, and when he drops the phone into the pocket, a little puff of dust will come out.
So you're new to Salem.
Yep. You just made it back.
You back from,
Yeah. I mean, not just. It's been a little while, but not long enough. I got a little shop. Just well, it's not exactly the nicest part of town, but it's affordable.
We have a little store too. The children just love it. We make toys and sell them.
I lean towards the the more mechanically inclined devices to manage a forge. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things.
You will notice they are polar opposites. The boy is probably shying away from you, hiding due to his flaws. The girl, on the other hand, is, despite looking as young as she does, she's acting like she is a servant in high-class society with how she's standing and moving around. It's like she's practiced till she was perfect.
If any of your he'll take out his phone again. Mundy devices or anything ever
But
sorry. If any of your Mundy devices, cars, phones, computers,
she'll pull out a cell phone that looks like it's from the 80s.
oh yeah, I remember these. If any of those ever break down on you, come by. First one's free.
She'll start giggling. She'll go, "Well, thank you. You're so sweet. See, I told you, Andy. He's a nice guy."
I'll take out like
Yes.
a Sharpie out of my pocket and he'll like use his fingernail to scratch a piece of like flaking paint off of this bench, and he'll write down like an address and hand it over very gently.
She'll take it and she'll very gently put it in her backpack. Most of her clothes look like what was in fashion till the end of the 90s. She looked really fashionably out of place. But other than that, Andy doesn't stick out too much because he just looks like he's wearing what he threw on from the closet. Without Josh here, there's not much else we can do, really. This was just introductions. She'll stop and she'll go, "Oh, one of the things is don't do too much damage here. This area belongs to the scarecrows. Or boogeymen, whatever you want to call them."
I strive to alleviate suffering, not cause it.
But do you belong to somewhere? Like,
To myself now, and I guess I have some loyalties to the court.
Add a character, Florence. I can't remember. I don't have your sheet open. Did you take any mantle?
yes.
Okay, then you're gonna need to describe basically what your mantle does for you, since you're of spring court. Does you smell pretty? You have bright flowers blooming
Yeah.
around you, etc.
Yeah. There'll always be like a light breeze around him, like a kind of sweet spring day, and he'll smell faintly of lavender.
That smells nice. Ooh, sorry, Ernie. I just hit my cat in the face on accident.
Poor kitty cat.
Oh, buddy. I guess
Yeah.
I smell like
What-
ashes.
Which
Yeah, he smells of lavender. You'll notice the girl seems to have a breeze around her also, and she smells of daisies and like fresh spring rain.
Hey, Raggedy, you were saying something.
Florence, what were you saying?
nothing.
All right then. No worries.
She goes, well, later this week we're going to be having a party for everybody in the freehold. You should come, Mr. Ratchet.
Yes.
I haven't been to a party since since Hammer Pants were in style.
When did those go out of style?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't around for it. They were still in style when I left.
Hmm.
Yeah, you should come. I hear the decorations will be nice.
That sounds pretty nice. I think I will.
The wines Our Lady makes are to die for, and we have these wonderful hookahs that are going to be set up.
Hookah sounds nice. Not much of a drinker. Doesn't agree with me. Makes me pukey.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up till now. We can always do another scene later with Josh, because I really had nothing plot-wise planned for this.
That's okay.
Okay. But this has been Salem by Night. We have 3 characters that have been introduced. Other players, get your asses to work.
Oh wait, one more thing.
Okay.
Can we just assume that we exchange numbers or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
no problem.
All right, cool.